morning, everyone. It's very early in the morning here at 10:30. I could still be asleep. I'd be watching King Richard, actually. He's Anthony's to be.
I'd be asleep.
Huh? Yeah. You don't want to watch King Richard? Looks good.
No, I have not.
Well, it came on. It's out today. Do you know what it's about?
I'm assuming it's about King Richard.
Nailed that one, didn't he? Anthony, not exactly up on current events. Anyhow, good to see you. Beautiful day today. 10 race card. We are fast. We are firm. A lot of turf racing today.
Yes.
Big card, over 10 horses, a race in the card. Looking forward to it. Pick 6 carryover. You play it at Naira Bets. Head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member, NairaBets.com. Use the promo code bonus200, and we will match with $200 of your initial deposit. Somebody told me yesterday that is True Timber breaking his maiden.
Wow.
Really? From that long ago? Maybe. Okay. Anyway, what else we got? Francisco. The big $15 bonus, $100 more at Del Mar. Apparently Mike Dubb is going to be running over at Del Mar against, is that Calumet as well? Or is that?
That looks like that could be a Goldfarb.
That's Sandy Goldfarb? Okay, there we go. Wow, 2 owners, been around a long time. 2 good guys as well. Opt in, $15 bonus. Del Mar. What else do we have, Francisco? Keep it rolling, $29,994. We'll call it $30,000. Pick 6 carryover, races 5 through 10. King Richard is about Serena Williams and Venus Williams and her father. King Richard's her father. It's a big movie that's opening today with Will Smith. Come on, Anthony. $300 buy-in. I bet you would love it. Honestly, it looks great. It's a sappy movie. You like sappy movies. Looks like a really great story.
Why does everybody assume I'm a sappy guy?
You are a sappy guy, because I don't assume you are. I know you are.
You're right.
Aqueduct Saturday contest, $300 buy-in, cash prizes, Naira.com/contests. And Friday, November 19th, that's today, 11:30 to 5:30. Action here, as well as Churchill First Post, 11:50 here, race number 1. Race number 1, there's a couple of Chad Brown runners, and I've got them second and third. Won't be surprised when they win. Probably prefer Spicer a little more than the other one. I'm a little dubious about the race Spicer comes out of. I know that Gunboat came back to win, improves her by her figure 8 points, but she also rode the good rail on the outer turf last week. Shad Nation came back and disappointed. I'm on the fence. I think he's the horse to beat, but I'm not thrilled with him, and I don't love Hedy Lamar either.
Okay.
Though Blazing Saddles was on TCM. I watched a little Young Frankenstein last night. I hadn't seen it. Anthony, I hadn't seen it in forever. It's such a funny movie, Fraubucher. Anyway, you like Hedy Lamar? Go ahead.
I like Hedy Lamar. I thought Hedy Lamar's debut was good. Consumer Spending is one of the more talented of the 2-year-old crop. Now we'll see how what happens when these fillies turn 3.
She beat her by 5. She beat her by 5 lengths and by 7.
She did, but last time she attended a pretty quick pace, and we got some rain.
The speed in the race finished 3rd.
We got some rain here last night, and wondering if it put a little give in this turf course.
It was a microscopic amount of rain, Anthony. It was about less than.
I had a lot of puddles by me.
It was less than a 1/5 of an inch of rain. Just so you know.
All right.
It is important that you say the speed. The horse who was a speed finished 3rd in that race. So I don't really think it's fair to say that this horse was usurped in the pace, because the pace held together by a horse, by the way, they ran a 65 buyer, and the prior 2 buyers were 44, 46, and the subsequent buyer was 44. So I'm not sure that race hold. I agree Super Spending's okay, and she ran okay in the Breeders' Cup, but I'm not sure, does it really matter for the also race? And this horse can win, but I don't know about this guy. Gal. Guys and gals?
Young lady.
Yes. Okay. We call them really young ladies, horses? I think you could call them he and she.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think Spicer's the better one of the 2. You prefer Hedy Lamar. I can see that. I think a horse that's going to take a lot of money here is Brisky Frolic. And I get it, but take a look at the horse finishing 3rd. I don't like the race this horse is coming out of. For what it's worth, I don't think I put these stats up, Ant. I did not.
Okay.
Todd Pletcher, stretching on the turf, maidens, 19 for 105, 18%, $1.47. 7 for 62 in their second starts, 11%. Under $1 for the ROI. Always Connected, who finished 2nd here, came back and ran 8 points worse in a subsequent start. I'm just wondering if that was really that much of a race. I don't know. I guess the horse could win.
Maybe it's not a good race.
I don't know. I'll tell you something else. The Frosteds.
They've been running. A lot of these trainers have been running these Frosteds on the turf.
Well, that's because they're not running. They're not showing any dirt. That's a bad sign.
That's not a good sign.
So I started looking at firsters. Okay. Ambitious, the number 4. I found a stat for Graham Motion that I found absolutely staggering.
Wow.
With 2-year-old first-time starters in turf routes, he's 1 for 40. 11 have hit the board, but even that, I mean, that's only like 27%, right? 28% or
11
something.
hit the board, yeah, 27%.
Yeah, it's 27.5. They round up. Probably the one with the best pedigree is Phil Schoenthal's horse, called Dan Silver. He always gets the tips on these.
They have the turf war, the number 1, the solid one, determined gold.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the best pedigree of anybody here, but you're saddled with an entry mate. You know what I think of them.
Right.
So I settled with On Alert. On Alert's a half to 2 turf winners. They were solid winners. One of them
12 for 36.
Yeah, one of them won 3 of 12 races. The Dam was unraced, but I settled this one. Bit of a guess for the first-time starter because I don't think it's going to take a Herculean effort to win this race. And, you know, you think of that New York bred race, that's the 5th race yesterday, and ended to pick 5. Yeah, they were okay, but Tony Dutro's horse, Russia, I can't wait to bet against her every race she runs. I'll be betting her in maiden races for the rest of her life. She could be who's that horse?
There were a couple. Her effort and the Mott horse, whose name has escaped me in the second race. I don't know how that horse didn't win yesterday.
You and a lot of mistaken bettors like that horse. I mean, I don't.
No, what I'm saying is turning for home. I don't know how the horse gets beat.
Isn't very good. But Russia. What was that horse we were remembering in the show that beat me in that score in the last race one day at Saratoga, and Rudy still had it?
My buddy hit the pick 6.
Had a long name, same way.
Yeah.
This horse will be in those races. And the Tony Dutrow horse, I mean, she's supposed to win. I mean, yeah, she had a good trip, and Eric rode her well, but she's supposed to win that race.
Yes,
I mean, it's not his fault. So I think first-time stars could be dangerous.
So this horse was also a half the battalion who was a terrible, terrible actor, so you may want to keep an eye on her in the paddock, see how she's acting out.
All right, we'll see what happens. Race number 2. Race number 2, it's kind of a horse with recency who doesn't seem to like to win, versus a couple of Todd Pletcher horses off the layoff. I thought the others would be an upset. You have one in the middle of them that I didn't like, but I like Adair in here. I assume is it Red Adair? Like Red Adair? Take a look at the last race. I know this horse has 7 for 13, second, third. That definitely bothers me. Don't get me wrong. This is a better one-turn horse, though. And this horse's races in New York are all the best races he's ever run.
Yes.
It's sort of odd.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, this horse is better in New York. I don't know if it's random. Yeah, Miles D didn't run great in here. But I prefer the recency in this one. I'm not sure I really trust either Pletcher. I don't really know if they're that good.
I feel like and obviously the problem with Adair is he just keeps piling up these
He doesn't win.
second and third place finishes. And I'm going to stay,
But the Forza Dioro, Miles D, I mean, this horse has lost some good horses.
Even the sound. He ran into horses at a time when they were
in great form.
Right, and they were on the rise, all of them. But he still finds ways. He still finds ways to get beat.
I agree. But the thing about Untreated, and we'll take a look at his maiden win, is this is a horse that Chad Brown loved before his first race. He didn't like this horse. He loved this horse, and he stunk the joint up. They didn't buy the horse. This horse didn't sell for, I don't think, an enormous amount. He sold in the Papa Dispersal.
It sold for like 140 or something?
No. He sold for over 300.
Oh.
I'm almost sure he sold for over 300.
Okay.
It was just a lot less compared to that one that Tom Amos has, who for some crazy reason they paid 7 and change, and the horse is just not any good. And he ran big here. They tried the Bluegrass. He stunk. I don't know. Did I put this stat up? No. Todd's got 180-day plus layoffs and dirt routes. It applies to both of them. He's 27 for 80, 34%, 229. Now at Naira, he's 8 for 29, 28%, $1.67. So they've run better out of town, most notably at Gulfstream.
Right, mostly Gulfstream.
I don't know what to expect from this guy.
I don't know what to expect from either, but I couldn't take a dare.
Okay.
I didn't want the other Pletcher, the Fresh Gelding, number 6 Roman Empire on top. So I landed on Untreated because I do feel like
he did sell for 300.
upside.
He sold for 300,000. Thank you, Acacia,
Okay.
for that. But I'm not so sure he's better. I mean, the problem with Roman Empire is he has so many races that are bad.
Right.
Does have a couple of big figures though. He's a new gelding. I don't know. I'm not sure, and he's going to be a much better price. I don't know. I'll be surprised if somebody wins besides the 3, 6, and 7. I prefer Adair, but I can understand being done. The third race is one that lost its thrill for me because I like Dreamful, who scratched. scratching the same horse I believe that you like, the 11 Exotic West. Look at the last race, and why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, Exotic West off. This is probably the one where she had the easiest trip and the cleanest, and really the least excuse of her last 3 races. I thought she had excuses 2 and 3 back, where if things break her way, she would have got the job done. And here she just she got beat on the square by a horse who showed up in Giggle Factory, and now, gets Javier Castellano in the boot.
But I don't know what he's going to do that Luz didn't do. Luz rode this horse well
I'm
last
just saying,
time.
any one of her last 3 races makes her very dangerous.
Yeah, I
At
agree.
least she brings some consistency to the table against a bunch of horses who really don't have her consistency.
Well, I probably should have put Gambling Cat on top when the change was made. I didn't think Dylan did any favors for Gambling Cat last time. I thought it was a very lax ride by him in a race where Luzzie knew to be forward. You knew the pace wasn't going to be quick. And I thought that she was sort of behind horses between.
Okay.
And she'll be a better price today, so I could have flip-flopped. Even Command Point, who was 4 wide in the first turn, 3 to 4 wide in the second turn, and was compromised by pace, didn't run that well. And one of the reasons I liked it, didn't run badly, that I liked the number 12 was, I'm just not sure how good that race was overall. The problem is, with the scratches, I don't know where else to go. And the 3 Fun While It Lasted, maybe the speed in here, with Trevor McCarthy, who gave a nice ride to win on that race where Nicky DeVest was one of the most overbet horses in the single history of horse racing. Problem is, I just don't know if this horse is good enough Fun While It Lasted. And a mile and 16th might be a bit of a stretch.
Right, I agree. The lone win came at Old Calder last winter, on this day, actually. So.
But this horse is a little dangerous. This horse has run figures to give her a chance. I'm going to tell you something. This horse is not a terrible use. Because with a scratch of the 12, the pace is the 3, maybe the 6, the 11, but there's nobody that fast.
No.
But it won't hurt the 11 either.
Right. You're assuming that.
You should.
I think we're both assuming that it'll be a moderate pace and it'll kind of carry.
I always
Exotic
assume
West
it's a
into
moderate
the-
pace. Excuse me.
Carry Exotic West into the race earlier.
We'll see what happens. Princess Nina, who gets in, was 4th behind Dreamful, but I didn't think she did much running. William Morey, who has her, did ship in a horse, a maiden winner here back at Belmont. Move on to race number 4. Lost Ectobar in the 6. Paul the Waiter. I understand that you have the 5 on top, Blewett. Here's my problem with Blewett. What was this horse's excuse last time?
He didn't have an excuse.
And I scratched into him second.
I don't think
wish
he
I
had
didn't.
an excuse last time, but I will say this.
Well, he didn't.
I think he has a far more favorable setup and scenario
Than last time?
Well, I think number one, I think he's more of a 2-turn horse than a 1-turn horse, and he gets his 2 turns today. He likes Aqueduct. His races at Aqueduct have mostly been around 2 turns.
His fastest figure is around 1 turn. Just bringing it up. He lost a funny guy by 2 lengths in a 1-turn race.
I got
just
it.
Pointing it out.
I understand that.
So that's the limit.
But he is now running for 10. The only horse in the race that could have kept him company early is Scratch.
Well, that's not. The 2, actually, Paul the Waiter. Yeah, you're right. The problem with him is he was on a good rail last time, and he stunk the joint up.
And I had no excuse for him last time, but I just think he's in a better spot.
But
today
everybody's
where
going to
he's
see
loose.
this.
I know.
And he's going to be a wildly short price.
Okay.
Here. See, I don't think that he's going to be 5 to 1, or I understand Ectobar scratch. He's not going to be 5
He's
to
gonna
1.
be 5 to
Twisted
2.
Tom Street. He's going to be 5 to 2.
Yeah, he's gonna be
now
5
I
to 2.
scratched into Twisted Tom, who drops down off a cliff too, and at least in his case, he's got race that can win it. His last race fast enough. I don't trust the 5. Listen, I like Ectobar here. And I'm left with a horse that I don't want to bet on particularly, who's a big drop down. I can't take Playwright. I can't take Beat That Flu. Marble Moon looks, sort of fringe, like he's at best kind of a long shot. Noble Thought's a little bit interesting in here simply because Gustavo Rodriguez's horses have been running really, really well. And he does have ability on the dirt. And it's not as though his turf form is that bad, but he was a better turf horse when he ran well on the dirt. And Potantico, I don't know, off a voided claim and a drop down, a terrible race, second off the claim for Tom Morley, he can win, but...
Well, 5 months? No, not for me.
Really? You don't think he's more likely to win than Playwright? Playwright's not going to win this race.
But Playwright was a double scratch for a 4th pick.
I get it, but the 10's going to beat him. He's a more likely winner of him. It's still Tom Morley dropping off a cliff. I'll take the drop downs. We'll see what happens. For me, Ectobar was where I was going. It's lost some of the flavor. Race number 5 is a very, very, very tricky race, I thought. And we're going to show the replay of Ogotten Girls race, which also includes Tuscan Queen and Jade's Jelly. You like Tuscan Queen. Why do you like her?
I feel like Tuscan Queen's got to get, or at the very least should get, the right setup in here.
Why?
Well, I have to imagine Ogotten Girl is going to go, and this is kind of an on-the-come pick. Jose has to be more aggressive with this.
Okay, so it's not the right setup. You think that Jose will be more forward?
I think if he's more aggressive, he will get a good setup.
Okay, that's fine. The problem with this horse is
got to be more aggressive with it.
She didn't run any better than Jade's Jelly last time, because Jade's Jelly, who finished just a neck behind her, and while she saved a little more ground, she got into some serious traffic before she was able to get herself not even totally clear. And while I was originally interested in Tuscan Queen and don't particularly like her anymore, I've had enough of her.
Okay.
I feel like her last race was bad. I don't disagree. She's supposed to be a little bit more forward than he was last time. I don't know, though. Maybe she really doesn't have much speed. She's never really shown that much speed. And when I looked at a race versus Jade's Jelly, I just didn't like it. And I won't be shocked if she wins, but I'm not sure it's time to give up on her. You know, it started to look like that Star Divine race.
This is divorce paper day for me.
Well,
if she's not handled a little more aggressively, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, she was wide against the Good Rail 2-back. She didn't run badly against Star Divine, but the whole field hit the wire together. She's got that big fig in her maiden win at Saratoga that's starting to look like a total aberration. I don't know, man. I'm not convinced. I mean, Ogotten Girl is going to have the run of this race. The problem,
no question about it.
And I'm not thrilled with her because she's also had 2 ridiculous candy trips, setting a slow pace 2-back, stalking a moderate pace last time out. She's had very good trips, but she may get another one here. I'm not going to take her at a short price to do it. And frankly, I'm kind of hoping that my horse, Silky Blue, just sits outside of her. She has speed. I know she was on a very slow pace race at 7 furlongs, but she can be more forward than that. And I'd like to see John Velasquez be a little bit more aggressive with her. And I think if he sits outside of Ogotten Girl, I feel like we were to look at her and think she's a little cheap, and maybe she is. I'm not sure she really is. But she's going to be a decent price. She's in good form.
I don't like her, but
okay,
you're
going
to get a good price on her. And it's not like, we're talking about Ogotten Girl having the run of this race. It's not like Ogotten Girl has this blazing speed either. So you mean like
Dancing Buck, who was the 8th fastest horse in a race and wired a field yesterday because one guy goes and everybody goes.
And that's why if you like a horse like Silky Blue, if you're like me, you think Tuscan Queen's going to be more forward. You can like horses like this because this is not supposed to be a fast pace. There's not a lot of speed in here.
I agree.
And the horse that's going to be in front isn't very fast.
Right, and that's
why supposed to be in front.
And that's why I'm not thrilled with Tuscan Queen, and that gets the Messidor conversation. Messidor can clearly win this race. She's good enough. And she's been very unlucky. We'll look at her last race, and she's had a lot of trips in her races, but...
Doesn't the lack of pace hurt her the most?
I agree. Now, Christophe Clement has a good record when he cuts horses back to turf sprints, particularly to 6 furlongs. But I agree. I mean, Javier doesn't have much choice with this girl. He's got to just drop her back and hope for the best.
Run and rip and run. There's no other choice here. And
she's not fast enough to go be close.
Right. That's the problem. This is a filly that has no early
But she's been
speed.
Very unlucky. She should have won this race. She should have ran super 2-back when she got caught behind that slow pace.
Doesn't her lack of speed also make that bad luck?
Well,
to a degree.
No, because it's unusual to get into a mile Widener race where they go ridiculously slow fractions like that. She's been a little unlucky. And last time out, Joelle just got caught going inside. I don't know what happened.
She just has no speed and going 3/4 in a race that's void of speed to begin with.
But she is the best horse in the race, in my opinion.
I agree.
So I'm not going to take a big stand against her, but Ogotten Girl might just get to the front and wire the field, see what happens. This kicks off the pick 6, by the way. Francisco, did we show that slate? $29,994.
Why don't you seed the $6, Andy? Put the $6 up.
Okay, you can. Yeah.
I'll do it.
That's race 5. Kicks off the pick 6. Take a break. Be back with a late pick 5.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Andy Serling, Anthony Stabile. Nice 10-race card, big fields, over 10 horses a race at Aqueduct, race number 6. We'll see what happens with the 9, Safalo's Mission, but Anthony and I are trying to beat this horse with first-time starters in here. I'll take a look at this horse last race. I thought this was a very, very hungry field, and I just have to think there are better firsters in this one.
Hungry field in a slow race, right?
And this horse didn't get bet.
Nope, 11-1. 11-1, and you and I, we don't agree on much, but when horses run this well, in my opinion, and don't get bet, and you see, and this is you see 5 horses hitting the line 3 lengths apart in a slow race.
Well, good horses have not gotten bet in their debuts,
Well, I understand,
but obviously a lot of horses hitting the wire.
That's a slow race.
It was a slow race. Do you think this race getting an 80 buyer?
No, but I think there are enough interesting firsters in here.
I don't disagree. There must be a big story on Bold Journey, because you're not the only one that likes this horse.
There's a story. There's a horse, a half to American Revolution, who's been training, who has been reportedly training very well.
And other horses that can't run at all.
And other horses that can't run at all. That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
This horse has been
So this
training
is a
really
tip
well.
horse.
Yes and no. I think when you look at this horse's work tab, I was told the horse could run, but when you look at this horse's work, if I didn't hear this horse could run, I would have likely picked this horse anyway, because this work tab is something you don't often see from the barn. This horse is working rather quickly for the barn, especially the Bullet last time. Carlos doesn't usually train his horses that fast. So for a horse to Carlos Martin, that is. So for this horse to sport this work tab and that Bullet,
Carlos Correa.
I just wanted to clarify. Right away, it's got to be Snark.
I just wondering who was the other Carlos?
Right away.
Who was the other Carlos?
Carlos David runs horses here.
Who?
Carlos David. David. I don't know.
I'm just curious. I'm going to do an informal poll. How many out of there, when he said Carlos, thought of Carlos David? I'm just curious. I know the number. It's 0. Carlos David, you really pulled that one out. I hear you. I get it. Carlos likes his horses. They do win sometimes, so I'm not going to disagree. This horse feels like he's going to open up at 8-5 in here.
The
whole world is going to be on this horse,
right.
and it may turn out to be
8-5
right.
might be a
but one thing
generous
about Carlos,
open
if
line.
Carlos likes him, everybody knows he likes him. I mean, I thought that the firster that would, sort of be logical would be the 5 in here, G Munning, who was bought for $275,000, the 2-year-old sale. And I got to think this is a dangerous horse.
Yeah, unraced dam, Bullet 2 back, a nice gate drill last time. I'm a fan of the gate drill coming in the penultimate work. But yeah.
But not of workout reports. But he's not a fan of workout reports.
No.
He likes looking at the paper and looking at gate drills. You could look at those workout reports.
I'm good.
Yeah, I know you're good, because your record of these firsters is so impeccable. There's no reason to look at workout reports. No, you just crush it.
I was firing away with first-time starter winners at Saratoga.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was.
Oh, yeah.
I rolled that ass.
Yeah, there's a very good. The second dam was pretty good actually in G Munning. There was one fair runner from this dam and one.
This is an interesting partnership in the breeding end, isn't it?
Clark Brewster and
Gold Square.
Yeah, and you've got a Marcassi first-time star from a 2-year-old sale, built to last.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Grateful Dead album, right? You know that.
You excited for the movie?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I'll see when the movie comes out. They've said there's a movie coming. There's a lot of movies that are.
No, it's not. He's cast everything.
Yeah, it's all cast. They said Jonah Hill's playing Jerry Garcia.
Martin Scorsese.
Anthony, trust me on this one. I actually do know a lot more about the movie business.
No, you do, but I'm saying if that's leaking, that has to be happening. No.
No.
All right.
No. A lot of things can happen before it happens.
Okay.
I hope it does, but though I'm not really sure about people. You know what? I just prefer to watch old documentary stuff. I don't really need to see a movie, though, much as I love Martin Scorsese.
Salty air.
Of course, there's a half to chowder and lobster. And,
Lobster.
Another runner. There's nothing but runners from this dam. I don't know. Jose Lozcano riding for Gary Siaka.
Dan was consistent too. 2 for 5, 3 seconds in her career.
Does Jose ride for Siaka a lot?
According to the short numbers, 3 horses in 2020 and 2021.
There you go. I don't know. No, this horse might be interesting. There's his pedigree, So I'm going to guess with Salty Air in this race, but I'm looking forward to seeing what the board looks like because it feels like there will be.
You feel like I don't know about you, but I feel like all 3 of the firsters that we have in the picks are a little interesting. Maybe we can see a horse with.
I don't think the 7's impossible as being a little bit interesting in this race.
Yep.
We'll see what happens.
And maybe we're all
and the 6 Salute to America is a my racehorse, so he could open up the open the favorite in this race. There you go. Race number 7. Another one where there's a lot of guessing to be done in race number 7. Where have you gone here?
I went to Sugar McGahee's number 9, Skims, who to me kind of looked like he absolutely needed his debut sprinting.
Does that ever work out? Does absolutely need the race work?
He looked like he needed it.
He did?
Yeah,
Not to me.
It looked like Jose just let him run late.
Didn't look like that to me at all.
Okay, sure, she. Yeah.
She's also coming out of that terrible race. It'll be interesting to see what Todd's horse does in the first race because I think that's a bad race they're coming out of. I have a stat for Shug, for what it's worth. Stretching out with Turf Maidens, second start. He's 3 for 26, 12%. I guess. I feel like this horse is going to take a lot of money because this is a very tricky race because it's a tricky race. I mean, it's either firsters or just what do you guess with? I mean, quality control for Mike Trombetta. This horse broke 2 lengths slow in the debut. I didn't think did a lot of running after that, but I do think this horse is a little bit dangerous in here, and that's number 4, quality control. He got another Grand Motion first-time starter. The one with the best pedigree in here is Messiaria, the Grand Motion first-time starter, but we saw that stat for Grand Motion with the 2-year-old first-time starters going along on the turf. Yeah, this horse has a very good pedigree. The dam was a solid runner.
Dam was 6 for 18, 4-time stakes winner.
Yeah, this is.
I believe she won a stakes or 2 as a 2-year-old. So there's some.
What about the 7, Miss Sugar Hill at Churchill for Christophe Clement? Not a lot. The dam wasn't very good as a first foal, but the Churchills, I think the ones. This is his first crop, I believe. They've been better going shorter over in Europe for whatever that's worth. He's a Galileo, so it shouldn't be a big problem. I don't know, Ant. I don't know what to do with these horses, and I'm looking through. I'm going to use the 5. I'm going to use the 7. I'm going to use the 4. I don't like Sheer Alice at all. I didn't think that horse can't get 6 furlongs. She's getting a distance, and I settled on Beachfront Bid. I actually meant to ask Chad Brown if he liked this horse, and I just forgot and thought, what's the point? I'm going to pick him anyway.
Do we know who Rodeo Creek Racing is?
I do not.
I don't ever remember seeing that name. And
they bought it from Buck Pond Farm. I do not know.
Spikestown Syndicate.
Could find it out. I mean, it's a Spikestown, right? You got a 2 for 5, the dam. The dam's production was probably a little better in the dirt, but there's plenty of turf. And this is honestly just a guess with me. This one will be live.
Well, this is a weird race because there's not a ton of pedigree. And
I don't agree. Well, no, wait a second. I don't agree with that.
I'm saying a ton, Andy.
Well,
yes, Massoria.
This horse has pedigree.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's not one of these races where you're going to be bowled over by the pedigrees, and the horses that have run really, right? They don't really wet your whistle.
That's the thing. And I think a lot of people are going to get suckered into Skims. You did, and maybe Skims will win, but I don't know. I don't know if Skims is really any good. I guess she could win. And you're going to use the mod horse, Sheer Alice. Okay, but she's coming out of that. And I could be wrong, but I'm going to stake my day on these 2 divisions that the 3rd race on October 23rd was a bad race.
Right.
May end up blowing up in my face. The Pletcher might win the first, and one of these 2 might win here. But I'm going to go against horses out of that race. And frankly, of the ones that ran, quality control is probably one I would use in here. But we'll see.
Okay.
That was a tricky race. Interesting race, but a tricky race nonetheless. Race number 8, big scratch in here. Brunate came out. I like Brunate. You didn't like Brunate today?
I did not. I'm 4th.
I am 2nd. You went to the obvious horse. Everybody likes this horse.
Well, I mean, the gate's supposed to open. Jalon Samuel's supposed to put Papa Smooth on a lead and just try and take him as far as he can.
That should be around the 8th pole, you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, but you confident in any of these that he's facing today want to pick him up at the 8th pole?
Am I confident? No, of course I'm not confident. But I think it should be noted that he got beaten by the 4, who you don't have in your top 4. last time.
I think that pace heated up a little bit more than it
Well, it wasn't that
today.
far off it.
No.
I hear you. I know. I hear you. He can win. He's Papa Smooth. And he's not going to be 9.
It's a great name. Papa
It
Smooth.
is a good name. He's not going to be 9-2.
I might adopt that.
Isn't he going to be the favorite in this race?
Yeah, of course.
Right?
I mean, and
He'll
especially
be
now.
favorite over Far Away
What
Look.
was Brunate?
I guess it's close between him and
Brunate
Far
ought to
Away
be
Look.
short, right?
I'm going to look right now.
Far Away
It's
Look
just
to
what I
number
was looking
7.
for.
First time Horacio De Paz off a Mike Dubb claim is your 7-2 morning line favorite now.
But yeah, Brunati was a 3-1 favorite.
He was the
right.
favorite,
So
okay,
Davis
so
was
now he
about
scratches-
3-1, so it's 5-2
Yeah.
and 3-1,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, I'm not even sure he won't be shorter than that. I hear you. I don't disagree with Papa Smooth. I'm just sort of teasing because everybody likes this story, and I'm not. When I mean everybody, I mean smart people like this
He's
story.
kind of an obvious. Smart people than me. He's kind of an obvious.
No, I'm just saying. It's not
kind
like
of
I'm
an
saying every
obvious
jerk I
horse.
met is like, oh, I like Papa Smooth.
Yeah.
Like people I really respect like this horse. I just don't. I don't know.
I was kind of obvious.
Kind of a cop-out pick, in my opinion.
Well,
Far Away Look, I don't know what to do with him. It was terrible.
I
last
put him
time.
third, but that was an
No,
awful,
I
awful
scratched
effort.
into him for second. I probably
Yeah.
should have gone 3.97 after scratches.
And I mean, off the claim, he cuts in more than half off the claim, off of it clearly.
I'm betting on Silver Token here,
Okay.
and I'm fully aware that Silver Token might just not be able to run anymore. But I'll say two things about him. First of all, he's a sprinter. He's not a router. I know he won routing. He's always been a better sprinter. He's a turf sprinter. He only ran once in the dirt, and he was vanned off. And that was December of 2018. Now, maybe it's a combination of we need to move on. I don't think anybody's claiming this guy. This is where he runs. You can't run this level on the turf.
This would be one of the more curious claims. I mean,
Right. Somebody wants to claim him, go ahead, and they can have him
Wow.
for 16 and be a 6-year-old.
Have him for 6. I don't know if anybody
It's
would claim
really
him.
weird that they never tried him in the dirt again. He was vanned off. Now, maybe Linden never ran him in the dirt because,
He can't run on the dirt.
but he did run well enough in his turf races. There was no reason to stop doing it. It's not like he didn't run well on the turf. He consistently picked up checks and ran well. I want to give this guy one chance on the dirt for Horacio
And
De Paz.
you're right.
This is a
This
race.
is a good example of narratives dictating results dictating the narrative. This horse is a better sprinter.
Yes.
This horse is a better sprinter.
May not be a dirt sprinter, but he's a
Right.
sprinter.
He's a better sprinter.
Now, you got Matty Marauder second. Nick Tamaro likes this horse, too. I don't know.
I feel like if you take his PPs apart a little bit, he broke his maiden for the 20, and then they kind of run him on the raise because it's supposed to go the other way, and we don't have $10,000 races for 2 Life here, so he runs him over. He runs into advance notice.
But he
then
ran
runs
lousy.
into- yeah, but
Where's his good race? I mean, the
I
Debo
thought the
race
ra-
was a terrible
What
race.
about the race 2 back? Got to get him some, and that's the race for this level.
Yeah, I guess.
The
but
only race for this level he's ever run.
such a bad bunch. And
But
the
where-
glitter box has kind of improved since then.
I mean, I feel like Matty's Marauder when
Could win.
in the 2 races where he's run for the bottom, he's run well.
Yeah.
Maiden 20 and the 16-2 Life. I think he's another horse that
I respect him. He can win. I didn't like him, but
He'll take
listen, I'm
some-
not taking anything against anybody.
he's going to
here.
take some money too because of Radortiz Jr.'s aboard. But
He's probably 7-2 morning line
Yeah.
if you take out the fact that
Right.
Brunate was 3-1. So yeah, but no. Listen, I'm not. I won't be shocked. I could be dead wrong about him. Race number 9. Number 9. Wow.
wow.
Even with a scratch, you managed not to get the winner on there. Good job. So, Anthony,
Yes,
what do
Andy.
you like about
Temple?
Yeah.
I mean, he's the class of the field.
We're betting. That's what we're picking.
No,
horse now.
he's the class of the field.
I think it's Anthony. It's the class.
He's got enough.
It's the
the
class.
class. He's got enough tactical position now. When he runs against horses, he's kind of better than to put himself in position early. I don't love the post, but Kendrick's gonna do what he can around that to get around that. And I think he's a horse that at the mile and 3/16 distance, this is his wheelhouse.
Yeah, I don't like this horse at all. You and I have a very different way of handicapping. You like horses to get perfect trips. I bet against horses to get perfect trips. This horse, in my opinion, is possibly the single most dressed up horse on today's card. He rode the Goldest of Gold Rails 2 races back. And we're going to actually don't show the replay yet, Francisco, just hang on. The replay of the race he won, but he's of no interest to me in there. And I'm glad he was in there. And then last time, he got another perfect trip, making that early move. I understand he's faced some good horses. I understand on paper he looks good in here, and he's going to probably be favored. I'm not a fan. I think he's as dressed up as a horse can be.
Okay.
So I'll be wrong. And I'll tell you something. Imperator? Is there a chance that Imperator just caught lightning in a bottle that day and he just can't run anymore?
Yep. And listen, with all due respect to Ever
He
Dangerous,
was awful last time.
that was not the toughest bunch of horses that he beat. He didn't really have an excuse
Well,
in the Baruch.
NYC should have won that race.
Right. He didn't have an excuse in the Baruch.
Well, he did. No, he didn't. That's not fair. There was absolutely no pace whatsoever, so you're completely wrong.
Okay. Well, that's to me that's not an excuse. That's just he's up against the dynamics. That's different. He didn't have any.
So being against the dynamics is not an excuse.
What I'm saying is he didn't have a trip.
No,
or
you were
like
wrong.
that.
He had an excuse. But anyway,
last time,
it's okay to say I was wrong.
The problem was last time.
He was
he
terrible.
didn't run 2 steps.
He was terrible last time. I agree. Now Baker's Bay, who we both have in the mix, show's got good numbers. 4 to 8 month turf routes, 25%, 274 ROI, good numbers. He was getting good. Thought he was dangerous.
Yeah, he had a no chance trip last time from the outside draw. He was just kind of hung wide, going a mile
What
and a
about
half
Doswell?
both turns.
Isn't Doswell the speed going to be
He's
forward
supposed-
here?
he's
Well, the
supposed
speed
to
is
be.
Mogacha. Mogacha's obviously going.
Right. I didn't. I know it was off. I know it was off 10.
I didn't love
9
his
months
last race.
I didn't like Doswell's last race.
I don't disagree with you. I got him second. I'm not in love with him.
I didn't
agree.
like his last race. I thought he was going to come back better than he did.
Yeah, I like Perjury Trap. And we'll take a look at Perjury Trap race. And Temple did win this race. I didn't even notice he was in there, to be honest with you. Or I would have obviously circled him. I'm sorry about that. But
It's okay.
this is a race that I liked value engineering out of. And the reason I liked value engineering, and he came back and ran a significantly improved race and ran down a loose in the lead flop shot, who was a heavy, heavy favorite, was because he was wide around the racetrack that day, and he was against the track. And that was opening week when the rail was gold. Well, Perjury Trap had it every bit as bad, if not worse.
Right, he was wider than value engineering.
He broke a half slow. He was 2 wide on the first turn, and he was 3 to 5 wide in the second turn. His performance looks bad because he was running out there in quicksand, while Temple was running down in exactly the place you needed to be successful in here. And it's a very, very, very important factor, because these horses that spent most of the racing on the rail they dominated the inner turf races throughout the first weekend here at Belmont. And the horses that were wide had no chance. And horses have come back and won. Perjury Trap was against it. I thought his race 2 back was good enough to be a factor in here. And I think he's super dangerous in here. And I'm betting on Perjury Trap.
Okay.
Race. And finally, last but not least.
The finale.
You didn't use the Klarvitz one here, but you just caught. To be fair to Anthony, I think you guys agree, it was a 10 race card. I mean, you didn't really have. You shouldn't have had to handicap this race, so you didn't.
Who do you? Are you really going to go after me?
We could switch to race 10. I actually handicap the races, so I don't pick just first-time starters because
sick.
I like
You're
Seth.
such a sick guy.
No, I'm not. I'm right.
Really? So you can go forward, Francisco.
Francisco's
taking the last race off too.
Be helped in the. So why you just cop out?
We got a replay, Andy?
No. Get this replay out of here, please. Hey. Okay.
What's the problem now?
I don't know.
What's the problem with my
Francisco,
first?
we'll get to the replay.
What's the problem with taking your first in a race?
Copping out with first-time stars for Chad Brown in races like this is silly. You know.
How? Why is it silly? Listen. If Hit the Nail had a better post, I think Hit the Nail.
He has just been awesome.
I think Hit the Nail. I think she's dangerous today.
She's a monster.
But the problem is the post. Problem with me, and it was
a long run to the turn.
Yeah, the post bothers me.
Okay, but what do you like about control function?
I don't like the rest of them.
Yeah, what do you like about control function?
The horse I like is stuck in post 11. So I'm going to default to the firster, who I don't think would have to be very much to get the job done first time out.
Okay.
I'll use the 1, I'll use the 11.
Okay.
And I'll use a little 7.
I'm going to bet on the 10 raving in here. Now we can watch the replay. Thank you, Francisco.
Tommy Bush retired, by the way, so I don't think this is a trainer change for him.
Tom Bush is retired. We wish him the best of luck in his retirement. This horse broke 4 lengths behind the field, but it's more than that. We're going to show it. That horse is coming up. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what Jose Lezcano was thinking. I don't know what the horse was doing to Jose Lezcano in here, though he's back aboard. But just keep laying this roll, Francisco, if you don't mind, for a little while. What the heck is going on with this guy? No.
Back it up, Francisco, if you can. Okay. The tape stopped.
Anyway, he's still fighting him. Hey, good news. Okay. What the heck was he doing with this horse?
I mean, I don't know if it was him.
He just knocked that horse over coming out.
Her.
He knocked over the horse outside of her.
It was probably her.
I don't know, man. But you want to hit the nail out of this race and not this horse.
This horse ran like a lunatic.
You don't want to bet this horse second time out?
I'm going to use the horse, but
well, you had a chance to mention her. You didn't.
You cut me off.
No, I didn't.
I have 11, 7, 10.
We can go back to the videotape. I know you do, but you said the 7. You didn't say the 10.
You didn't let me.
I did. You had plenty of time.
Let's go to the videotape.
Yeah, we can. They're having enough trouble with the videotape in there.
And then you almost know your hand off.
I think there's a lot more going on in this race than you do. I think that my son... Well, you don't have My Sonny Valentine in your top 4. This horse has one turf race that is substantially better than any race that has ever run, and she's other races, and it's better than almost everybody else in here. You don't have a horse that's switching to Kerry Brion. With all due respect to Pat Bianco's barn, Patrick hasn't been well, and you know he's a friend, and I wish only good for him. But now this is going the turf first time ever and ran fast enough to be competitive here. And you've got this horse nowhere in there. And you're going back to Hit the Nail, who frankly is past her expiration date. Hit the Nail is a horse that was interesting off that trip first time, and she's had plenty of chances. 2-1, 9-5. And did she really do any running in those races?
Today, and again, the post kind of
I think you're going back to
tempers my enthusiasm, but today she's going to be 6, 7, 8 to 1.
No, she isn't. No, she isn't going to be 6, 7, 8 to 1. She's 5 to 1 in the morning line, and people keep going to her like you. You don't have Wicked Happy anywhere. I know she's over 18, but she's running races fast enough. You just say you default one. You don't like anybody else because I don't think you gave anybody else a chance in here.
I wanted some fresh faces. I wanted some horses that didn't have
I get those lines. I get them all. But fresh faces raving. Number 1, by the way. And if you watch that race.
I think Peace Be the Journey could be a little interesting too.
But the point I'm making is you're just defaulting and.
Don't tell me I'm just defaulting.
You are defaulting. You said to me, I just don't like anybody here second one. You didn't look at the 8 who ran once in the turf. You didn't look at the 5. I'm going to tell you something. I think it's fair to say you missed a lot of live horses in here. You don't think you missed a lot of live horses in here?
John Kimmel ran the 8, My Sonny Valentine, on the turf once.
Okay.
He thought she ran so well that he ran her back in 2 maiden special weight races on the dirt.
Okay, he was wrong. Oh my God, no trainer has ever put their horse in the wrong spots.
I'm not saying that.
Bill Mott ran Cigar on the turf 14 times. What? Isn't that the whole point of handicapping, though? Analyzing when horses...
Yes.
They keep running King Angelo on the turf, and he's a better dirt horse.
Absolutely.
I mean, horses
My
are put in the wrong
analysis is I don't
spots.
want any of them, so give me the Chad first time starter.
You saw Chad first timer and said, "Oh, it's a 10th race." And it's like when I was down at Gulfstream.
That's ridiculous.
When I was down at Gulfstream
unfair.
in the last race, when I get to that last race, it was no, I don't. Was 12 horses for 62.5 on the turf, going 5 furlongs, and I went like, really? Can't there just be one horse to pick out? I don't know. I think you gave up on this race. Okay. I do. I think you missed a lot of live horses. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you know what? This is the Breeders' Cup filly in their turf. I missed a lot of live horses.
I'm going to tell you something, Anthony. If you win a lot of money in a race, it's your Breeders' Cup race.
No question about it.
So we'll have to agree to disagree, but I don't think we disagree about Naira Bets. Head over to Naira Bets, and if you're not a member, use the promo code BONUS200. NairaBets.com. Sign up. We will match the $200 initial deposit. We have to find out. I bet that guy was right. True Timber. A pretty good call. That was a pretty wild call. It's on Twitter. I thought you were on the tweet, too. Anyway, opt in. $15 bonus. Bet 100 or more at Del Mar today, where apparently Sandy Goldfarb and Michael Dubb are going to be racing against each other down the stretch.
I guess. I think those are Sandy Silks.
Yeah, talk to those guys.
It's a stakes race, too, because there's writing on the saddle.
No, that's a good call. Okay, what else we got, guys? Ooh, carryover, almost $6 short. Anthony's putting the 6 up. He volunteered me. Why don't you put up the 6?
I'll put it up.
Why don't you volunteer me?
I got it.
And it would be 30 even. You know what? Whoever hits this, I'll get out Anthony Spiel's number. You can get a hold of him, and he'll give you whatever piece of that $6 you should be getting.
Absolutely.
One winner, $6 from Anthony Stabile. Come to the studio.
Come to the studio.
Ask Kyle. He'll pay you, and you'll get back to him later. $300 buy-in, all cash prizes, Naira.com/contest. You got until 5 o'clock today, so that means you've got, what we got, Anthony? 5 hours and 40 minutes. We're gonna get out of here.
I almost missed the call time.
11:30 to 5:30 for the show today, which I'm almost late for. So we got to go. It's been really fun. Should we do it again tomorrow?
I don't have any choice.
Well, you could not show up. Kyle will do it.
Kyle
He's
will
ready.
be great at this.
He's a little busy.
He brings
We're
some
done.
Brooklyn to the house.
It's been fun. Johnny I's up next. Replay the scratches, the reprise the scratches and changes.